Hey y'all, Kentucky Farmer here, and welcome back to the 51st episode in my Goldcrest Valley FS17 Let's Play series. In the last episode in this series, we left off selling some wood chips. Well, selling a lot of wood chips. And then after that was over, I wound up hitting the next growth cycle, and so a bunch of missions came available, and so I've just been like non-stop doing missions. So all the wood chips are completely sold off, and I've done just an absolute ton of missions. Let's see here. So we had fertilization on 1, 6, 25, 27, 28, 29, 30, and 20. And then I had harvest, fertilize, cultivate, plant and fertilize, and a couple of plow missions on like 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 5, 9, 13, and 31. And so I've gone through and done all of those missions. Now we have 4 fields that are ready for harvest: 22, 14, 12, and 15. And if the market price looks good, I do have a silo full of silage over here. And while I was selling the wood chips, in the last episode I bought those 2 conveyors. Well, I also went later and bought the middle conveyor also to help sell the wood chips. So I've got all 3 conveyors parked over here. So I was kind of thinking if the price looks halfway decent, I might set them up and just start selling the silage, just because, I'm not really super concerned about getting a great price on silage, just because it drives down so quickly. I feel like maybe I'd be better off selling, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 liters. Yeah, probably 100,000. There's 2 million in that one bunker, so I should probably try and sell at least 250,000 liters of silage every day, no matter what the price is, just to sell it. So I've got a lot of stuff that I want to do at this point in the game, so much so that it's going to take a few episodes to get through all of this. So I won't be able to do everything in this episode, but the last episode wound up being very long, which it was the 50th episode, so I'm okay with that. But really, I do need to get these things down shorter. I'd love to have like half-hour, 45-minute long episodes, and also episodes that I can do a little bit less editing on, because I did a lot of editing on the last couple. So my biggest priority in this mission is going to be livestock. So they've got maybe a day's worth of food left, so I gotta feed the livestock and clean up after them. Our pigs are climbing quite steadily. We're up to 287 now, and I've kind of had a change of heart on this. I was saying that after 200 I was going to start selling them, but looking at the reproduction rate at 287, we're down to a half hour each, right? So our trailer holds 42. So my thought was I'll just let it get to 300, and then when it hits 342, I'll take a trailer load. And so every time it hits 342, I'll just take a trailer load and leave it at 300. That way we'll be doing 1 load per day, but it won't take a full 24 hours to get to that 1 load, right? So I think that'll be a good place, and I want to just kind of keep it then there at the 300 level. Sheep, I would love it if I had 300 sheep, honestly. I wish these guys would reproduce faster, but I kind of get why that would take longer. In fact, I'm kind of tempted when I do start selling pigs to just sell the pigs and buy a trailer load of sheep and bring them back with me, just to get some more sheep in here. So that's the animals. And then to update on the finances, we'll go back a screen. We got a lot of money. a lot of money. So Wednesday, we basically just did some field jobs, but mostly that's when I was cutting down and chipping trees, was on Wednesday. And then here on the last day, I had a lot of field missions, but we had a lot of money come from wood chips. And so that helped a ton. And then we also sold bales, right? So we sold all those baleage. And we had our property income. So we did really good on Thursday. And then today I had, again, a bunch of missions. And what I did differently this time around, why this number is even higher, is because previously I was just kind of like powering through them. Like I would try and do, get big equipment so I could get done faster. Well, I did the exact opposite this time. I would go in and like start the mission, and then if it was a big piece of equipment, I'd jump out and come back. And I was purposely trying to do the smallest piece of equipment possible so that I got the most amount of money for the missions. So we've got a good chunk of change. I probably won't keep doing this. Honestly, the missions are starting to feel a little tedious to me. I get excited to do these sorts of episodes. I'm wanting to do the missions less and less. So as far as what we're going to do with some of this money, I'm hoping to accomplish a few things. So the storyline, I've got a valid reason for this, but the story I was going to tell you guys was that the Sierra Club got pissed at all the trees that I cut down and chipped up, and so they've been out protesting. And the deal I struck with Sierra Club was that I needed to go plant 200 more trees and to make up for the 200 trees that I cut down. And they wanted me to build a wind turbine to offset the energy production of the city. So in this episode, I think I'm going to build a wind turbine. And so I'm sure there's a few people that are going to be pissed at me because I'm buying that instead of buying a bunch of fields, because with $1.7 million I could buy quite a few pretty decent sized fields. But the real reason why I want to do it is because if you look here at our running costs, right? So I could fast forward the game and I would still have I have this 12,661. It got a little bit lower today over Wednesday because I actually did pay to repair my case tractor, which was getting really expensive. My animal upkeep is just like climbing really sharp, and it's just because of the amount of animals I have. And so if I want, 10 times as many sheep as I have, and I want to get into cows, this number's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. My vehicle running costs, like as I get into more fields, I'm going to want more tractors, more plows, more cultivators, more seeders. As I get into cattle, I'm going to want, front loaders and cattle specific stuff. And as I get into doing more BGA, I'm going to want a front loader for there and more trucks. And, I may wind up getting a second forage harvester and stuff like that. So like the running costs are just going to keep getting higher. So, and right now my running costs are basically twice my property income. So like I've always tried in the past to try and keep that pretty close. And I just feel like over the last couple of days, what really set it off was that sale, right? When I went and bought a whole bunch of machinery because it was all on sale, that really started sending my vehicle running costs up. And then as my pigs have been reproducing, that's growing a lot faster than I'm used to seeing. So I haven't been keeping up with my property income, and I feel like if I just drop a windmill, that's going to be huge. It's a lot of money you get for windmills. So I think I'm going to do that in this episode. I'm going to buy a few other things, and we'll get to that. But so I'm going to start with the big ticket item. And you may have seen this in some of my other games. I really love putting the windmill right on this rock here, because this rock's big enough that like it gets in the way of tractors anyways. And then having a windmill here, like when you're off in the distance, you can kind of see it, and it's cool because it's, you know that windmill's where your farm is at. So we're gonna go with placeables and windmill. So yeah, so $500 an hour, that's $12,000 a day, which honestly, that basically like covers my operational cost difference that I have now, and gets me a little bit of wiggle room, but still it's not like I'm making a ton of money every day, right? So alright, let's turn this way. Yeah, that'll work. Alright. There's my windmill. Can't really... Oh, you can't get on the steps, okay. It's kind of funny that it has steps down to this giant concrete block. Cool. Alright, and let's see here. One of the other things I was going to do... Let's grab Old Faithful here. My trusty case. I do want to get into planting trees. I probably won't be doing that this episode, but one of the things I was going to do is take this down to the shop. And I've actually got a mod that's this exact same thing. It just goes faster. And this thing's painfully slow. So since I'm using it now for poplars and trees, I'm going to go get the modded one that's just faster. So I'll just sell this one and buy that one. So I'll pick the video back up when I get down to the shop. Alright, so I'm down here at the shop. And I've got this thing ready to sell. We'll get back $20,000. And let's see how much we gotta spend to get the faster one here. So we got back, yeah, that's not too bad. And then, okay, so the modded one is the same price. It's just, so this one, if you see, goes at 12 miles an hour. Versus this one, which only goes 3, so it's 4 times faster. This needs 100 horsepower, and this is the same. So yeah, all they did in this mod is make it so you can go a little bit faster with it, which I like. Alright, so there's that. And then also wanted to buy some saplings. So if I'm going to plant 200 trees, that means I need 10 boxes. I may have bought 11. Yeah, okay, let's get one more. We'll do an even dozen then. Okay. So then to transport these guys, let me get my planter here out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and grab the semi. Alright, real quick, I'm going to grab the eggs in here, since I apparently have quite a few. Alright, that should be good. Might as well sell some of these eggs while I'm here. Oh wow. $1,140. I must have had quite a few eggs on me. Alright, let's try out this fancy dancy pallets, I guess. Yep. That makes life easy. It's interesting. So I can fasten the tension belts, but didn't go over them. That's alright. I think it's all good. Alright. So I was just gonna store these right down here. Ta-da! Nice. Alright. So those guys are just going to live there until I decide to come plant those trees. So I'm going to just drive this back over to the main farm and drop this trailer off because I don't think I need it for anything else. Alright, so now that I drop that off, I'm going to take my semi over to the pig farm and feed my pigs. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is give them some water. Alright. That's odd. There we go. For some reason it won't let me disconnect when it's in the refill box over there. Alright, so now we'll do a little bit of straw. Oh wow. Alright, and normally I would say I should clean up what's on the ground before I try and refill it, but I'm guessing this is going to take everything that's in these trailers. So I might as well do... Oh, especially because this trailer's almost empty. Alright. I'm going to take this down to the main farm and refill it with whatever corn I may have. I don't know how much I even have. Alright, so this one we got to fill up with corn. Oh good, I got over 50,000 liters. That's good. And well, let's go and I guess I'll might as well bring this guy back to the farm. I need to put the front loader bucket and stuff on it so I can feed the pigs potatoes, and I'll take this over there, give them potatoes, and clean up the corn that's on the ground. Alright, I'm just going to take this up to the pig area. Alright, there's all the potatoes. And let's grab our semi here. There we go. And I'm going to take this up there and fill up their corn. Pulling that trailer just made me realize one of the reasons why I bought this is because I can upgrade the engine. I'm going to go ahead and put the middle tier engine in it now that I fixed the daily operating cost. This chip tuning one is a little crazy, so we're just going to go with this one for now. There you go, we can actually accelerate going uphill now. Whoa. Yeah, apparently we can go too fast to go around the corners. This could possibly take the entire trailer. Unbelievable. Alright, looks like I'm going back for another load. Alright, well there you have it. I officially need more corn. We'll go ahead and fill up everything else and see how many days I've got before I'm going to be in trouble. I mean, in theory, I can just start selling pigs, too. Alright. Time to go get a refill. Alright, we'll do barley this time. Alright. I was wondering if I was ever going to get to see that message. Alright, let's go get another trailer of soybeans. Alright, that's not very many soybeans. I guess that's why I planted a whole bunch of fields with it. 12, 14, and 22 all have soybeans and they're all ready to harvest, so we should be okay with this. Whoa. Whoa. Why are we not on the road? There we go. Oh wow, okay. Well, that's good. Alright, well I'm done with the semi for now, so I'm going to take this back over to the main farm and park it. Alright. So I'm just going to clean up this little bit of corn over here. Alright, that should do it for the pigs. So now I'm going to head over to the sheep area and make sure they're doing alright. Alright. Sheep are fed and watered, pigs are fed and watered, so I'm just going to go ahead and take this thing back over to the main farm. Alright, so I think I'm going to wrap this up here. I've got about an hour recorded already. It seems like we didn't really do that much. So in this episode we got that beautiful windmill there, which is really going to help with our day-to-day financing. And we picked up some trees that I'm going to go ahead and plant in one of these episodes over by the sawmill. And then took care of our livestock. So I had pigs needed quite a bit of food there. In fact, let's go ahead and check and see what they're looking like now. Oh, that's good. See, we weren't quite able to fill up the corn, but it's pretty much there. So they should be good for quite a while now. And then, like I said, once I get up to 342, I'll start taking trailer loads and selling them 42 at a time. And I'm honestly liking the idea of every time I go sell a load of pigs, I'll probably just buy a load of sheep. I don't know exactly how the money will work out on that one. I think I think I'll basically spend the money that I get. I won't necessarily buy a full trailer of sheep, because a full trailer of sheep is actually pretty expensive. So that way I can help kind of boost our sheep number over here. Because with that field 11, like, my intention is to like get so many sheep that every other day I cut field 11 and use that to keep them fed. And that would be a lot of sheep. So, and at that rate, in theory, they'll be producing a lot of wool, which will make a lot of money. So, that's kind of my goal with that. But field 11 is basically going to be their field, right? And if they're not consuming all of that grass in field 11, well, then I'll make baleage until they get to the point where they are consuming that much. I don't know how many sheep that'll be, but I'm sure it'll be quite a few. And like I said, it'll probably be, another 10 episodes or so, but I do want to eventually get into cows. So we'll be there eventually, but it's going to take a little bit longer. And then if we check market prices, one of the other things I wanted to see. Silage is at 327. That's actually a really good price. So I think in the next episode I'll wind up setting up the conveyors over at the silage area and selling some of this. Because like I said, I got 2 million liters over there, and I just need to start selling it, whether it's a good price or not. But that is actually a really good price for silage, so I might as well get on that. I do intend on buying a couple fields. I got enough money left that I can pick up some of the ones I'm looking at. We need to do some harvesting. So I'll have to harvest 15, 12, 14, 22. And then, of course, once 22 is harvested, then I can work on, combining these fields, plowing them bigger, and then making a smaller field up here. And then we'll do, like a big field of corn, and then we'll do this in poplars. 18, I guess, is still technically growing, but 18's almost ready to harvest. It's pretty close. And we'll do poplars off of there. Part of me was tempted, if I'm doing poplars on these two fields, then like right here, I may drop one of those wood chip heating plant things so that I can basically just harvest them and sell them right here. So that's just kind of like a hint of what will come in the next few episodes. Like I said, I'm going to try and keep these a little bit shorter than I have been recently. And yeah, so hopefully you found this episode interesting. If you did, would you please give it a thumbs up? That helps a lot. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing for more farming simulator videos. I'm Kentucky Farmer. Thanks for watching.